Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and esteemed colleagues, good morning. My name is 𝐌𝐭𝐢𝐜𝐿 and I'm the founder and managing director of Harmony Home and Community Care. Before I begin, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we stand and pay my respect to the elders both past, present and future. On behalf of Harmony Home and MHWorks, I would like to welcome you all to the Multicultural and Disability Expo. Our theme for today's expo is skills sharing and education among the service providers. In these current times, when so much is changing within the industry, events like this are so much important and needs to happen. Through skill sharing among the service providers, we not only share our ideas and innovations, but also we share strategies to strengthen and enhance the support for the vulnerable people in our community, our participants. We would like to thank all the dignitaries and presenters for their valuable time and to be a part of this event for us. Thank you for coming in. We would also like to thank all the sponsors for sponsoring this event. We've got Metro and their community outreach program right there, Polar Language Services, my autonomy plan managers and campus consultants. Without any of our sponsors, it wouldn't be possible to run this event. We have worked really hard to bring this event into real life, and it is only possible because of the hard work between Harmony Home and MHWorks. We hope you all enjoy yourselves today with all the activities that we have planned for yourselves. Let's just not forget to take time and network and introduce ourselves to one and each other. But above all, make sure that you have a good day. Now I would like to welcome to the stage the Mayor of Wyndham, Jenny Barrera. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Daniel, and good morning, everyone. I too would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the lands on which we gather today and pay my respects to Bunurong and Wadawurrung traditional owners, elders, past and present, and I acknowledge any First Nations people who may be here with us today. We have some councillors here with us today. We have Councillor Peter Maynard, Councillor Heather Marcus and Councillor Jasmine Hill. Thank you for being here. To Daniel 𝐿, the founder of Harmony Home and Community Care, thank you for the invitation today. It's a real pleasure to be here to represent Wyndham City and to welcome you to this Multicultural Disability Expo. I had a good chance to chat as people were setting up to the stall holders at the back there, and I think it's fantastic that you can all come together and showcase what's on offer here in Wyndham for families and clients, but also across the West. Our population here in Wyndham, as many of you probably know, is a rapidly growing one, and our population is expected to continue to grow for quite some time. And with strong population growth, there is increased demand for NDIS community services. We know in Australia there are over 4.2 million people in Australia who live with a disability. In Wyndham, it's 1 in 5 people. In 2021, more than 12,000 people, or 4.1% of the population here in Wyndham, needed help in their day-to-day lives because of a disability. Wyndham has a strong commitment to be an inclusive and an empowering community, and particularly for those most vulnerable with disabilities and from culturally and linguistically diverse communities. As a council, we strive to be inclusive, and we want everyone in Wyndham to have the support that they need to live the best lives that they can. We're committed to removing barriers to participation, to promoting inclusion, and to achieving real change in attitudes and practices that impact people with a disability, and particularly those from culturally and linguistically diverse backgrounds, because that's an extra barrier that they face. Council has a fundamental role to play in leading by example, and indeed leading the way in promoting inclusiveness and ensuring equitable access to community facilities, services and programs for people with a disability from culturally and linguistically diverse backgrounds. Today's expo brings together not only participants but providers and the local community to be able to learn, to share, to network, and to discuss how the NDIS and the CALD community can better address the issues for people living within our community. So I acknowledge and thank Harmony Home and Community Care for arranging today's Multicultural Disability Expo, and I encourage all the stallholders to mingle, to talk to each other, to share information and work together to assist those people living here in Wyndham with a disability to get the best out of the services that they possibly can. Thank you very much. We have other events to get to today, but it's a pleasure to be here to open the event, and I hope that you all have a terrific day. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hoping you all enjoying the exhibition and also keeping your stall lively as well. I'm just here to talk about quality and compliance in NDIS. Now, it's not one of the very attractive topics for many of the people, always. But it's, I've always found that it's not very attractive, or rather it's boring when you think of it for the sake of compliance only, that you have to meet certain standards, you have to comply, and then that's where it becomes a burden. But if it's taken in the sense that it's necessary for the safety and security and duty of care of the participant, and you have to take it along with providing other services for the clients or the participants, it becomes interesting as well. There is an element of skill building, there is an element of learning also, which comes through the way. So that's what I am going to talk about for a few minutes, not very long, hopefully. So as I mentioned, why? Yes, there is an element of safety, security, duty of care, which comes in when you meet all the compliance and quality requirements. It's good for your organization as well, because if you are having policies and procedures and you are trying to implement them, you are trying to comply with them, what you are trying to do is to create a strong institution. You are making your organization strong with robust system, with robust processes, and then you're just taking it to a new height as well. It's really also important because it sets a benchmark for providers through which they can assess their performance as well. And then they can demonstrate a safe support to participants as well. So just giving you example, if you have a good support plan developed, you have done a good risk assessment of the participants, you have done a good risk assessment of the place where they are living, it just provides you information and also your employees also. It's good for the participants also, just to know what are the risks involved, how to tackle them, what are the elements in the support plan that you need to take care of, what kind of support to provide, what activities are in there. It just sets a broader framework for you to work with the participant and provide them a quality support as well. Now, there could be many reasons around it, but I think these are some of the most important ones. When it is to be done, when the compliance should kick in, I always say when people come to me for initial registration, that they need to take care of all the compliance requirements or to look to meet standards right from the start. So it should not be that they are registered, which by the way people do. Once you're gone through the registration process, you're registered, you just forget about it, and then 18 months pass, your midterm comes in, you're again running around, oh, I don't have these documents, I don't have these documents, I have to do this. Becomes hassle, it's a very hard work, and it's more costly as well. So I always say to people that, okay, invest some time and little money in it. Try to learn and keep up your filing system, your documents, and also work with the clients to, better understand what their needs are and document them so that you are able to meet the standards and comply all the time, not only at the midterm and the renewal time as well. Now, who can do it? I think all of the staff which are working within an organization, within an NDAS provider framework, they are responsible for that. It should not be only left to, for instance, a gentleman who is sitting there is responsible for risk and compliance. So he should not be left to Graham only, or someone who is responsible for that. But everyone who is working in the organization, they are responsible to see that they have all these plans and frameworks and documents which are essential to be developed. How it can be done? I think there are lots of networks around, so be part of those networks so that you can pick some best practices. You can network with other colleagues. You can see what good they are doing, how you can improve your system. This is one way. You can subscribe to NDAS newsletters, get information from them. You can also attend some standalone trainings as well. If nothing of these working, you can come to us as well. Canopus, my label is there as well. So I think there are lots of ways of doing it as a provider on that. I think that's pretty much it. I'm not sure how much I can emphasize or say it again and again, but yeah, this is an important part of the work that we do. It's really important we are taking care of the participants as providers, providing them services what they need. But then I think we will be better placed if we have proper documentation of what they need. We just go along with them and change our documents when the needs are changing so that the things can be institutionalized and they are not dependent upon one person providing support to participant, and when that person leaves or go away, then the other people don't have clue what's happening with that. So I think it's important to strengthen your institutions. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much, and thank you Farouk and Daniel for also having us along today. I've met quite a few of you here today as the Head of Growth and Engagement for My Autonomy Plan Management. We're an independently owned and operated plan manager. That's all we do, based here in Melbourne, servicing all participant support coordinators and providers. What do people like about us? Well, we process the same day for what used to be next day payment, but thankfully the NDIS has decided to add another day into that, so it's the following day now. We don't have a call centre, so if you give us a call, we'll answer that phone. It does seem quite novel. And with respect to any inquiries via email or the website, our goal is to ensure that we're responding on the same day, because everybody knows we're not contacting our plan manager to ask what the weather's like. If you've got any questions or queries this afternoon, we're here all day. We've got the booth just over to the left here, and thank you again for having us along. Cheers.
Thanks, Graham. Thanks, Daniel. Thanks, Jared. Thank you, everyone, for having us here, giving us a platform, to, pun intended, platform to talk about what we can provide for you. As you can see, I'm from Metro Trains, and I'm part of the community education team. Metro Trains prides ourselves on having a network that's for all of Melbourne. So we want, our role at the community education team is to promote safe, full build independence for people to use our network to see all the amazing Melbourne has to offer everyone. So I have a presentation which is great. So that's the community education team. We've been around about 15 years, but over the last 2 years we've expanded to focus more on community groups. We always have, but my cohort of people is people with disabilities, and I'm really passionate about making sure people with disabilities has the same ability to explore our amazing city for work, for education, for whatever they need be. So first of all, I'm going to show a little video, and then I'm going to have a breakdown of some of the things we do, and then if there's any questions, we'll probably have a chat on the round table later. Welcome to Community Education at Metro. Our team has been educating and supporting the Melbourne public for over 15 years to travel safely and confidently on our trains.
Our team visits primary schools, secondary colleges and community groups to deliver our free rail safety and awareness program. We grow people's awareness around train etiquette and positive behaviour so that everyone can have an enjoyable journey. The best part of my job is travelling around Melbourne, connecting with people and learning from the stories we share. We also head out to special events such as the Melbourne Royal Show and educate on how Metro moves Melbourne and connects us all together. The community education team empowers people by showing them how to safely use our trains and where to get support.
Our team offers travel training sessions for seniors, people with disability and multicultural communities. This provides a practical experience, allowing groups to engage in and learn from real-world scenarios.
Our students really enjoyed doing the excursion into the city with Dylan from the community education team. He made a great effort to introduce us to the various personnel that we encountered on the way, customer service staff, even a train driver. And it really helped to reinforce with the students that the staff are there to help and provide support, and that students should always feel safe.
The team builds our community's confidence to use Metro trains to explore our beautiful city and participate in all the wonderful things that Melbourne has to offer.
Beautiful, thank you for watching our little video. As you can see, we have a layered approach to build people's confidence and independence. We start with a safety presentation where we talk about everything 𝐼𝐸. You know, some people don't know about 𝐼𝐸, they don't know which concession card they might have, the importance of where to top up, how to touch on, all those sorts of things we discuss. If they need any sort of help or support, we really stress that you can get support from all of our lovely staff. You know, support getting on the trains, the safest, easiest, most accessible way to use our trains, all the accessibility features our trains do have. We promote all those sorts of things and make people aware of that. Where you can get support in an emergency, whether there's staff there or not, how to get there. There's always someone on Metro that can lend support where needed. So we're really making people aware of that. And then once we've done that in the presentation, in-house safe environment, then we go out and do travel training or supported travel, where to build people's confidence, everything we looked at in our presentation will go in, as the young people say, IRL. We'll experience that in real life. We will meet at a local station where staff is, support them through that, meeting with staff, breaking down the barriers there so they understand that staff are really easy to talk to and can support them. Do a tour of the station and all the safety accessibilities, how easy it can be, how to choose the right station for you and your needs. Then we'll have a trip on the train, do independent boarding, once again all the accessibility features, have a chat to the driver, all those sorts of things, how you can get help. Then, you know, it's a fun bit, then we'll go, Then we'll have some lunch or a coffee and all that sort of stuff, and you know, we can tailor it to whatever the participants' needs are, you know, or their environment, if they want to do it local, if you want to come to the city and have a look at Flinders Street Station, meet all our lovely staff there, up to you. You talk to us, we can work that out with you and what your participants need and what, you know, what's best for everyone. Then we have lunch and then we'll escort you back to your local station. We are moving on with a new section where we can do a digital literacy one, where we can teach people how to plan their own trips and all those sorts of things, but that's in its infancy now, but it's moving forward. So we're there to work with you and your participants and find out what they need and tailor it to their needs. So our table's at the back. If you need to find out how to connect with us, come and get a card. We'll get a QR code that'll take us to a booking page, email, so you can connect with us and we can have a chat to you. So thank you for listening. Thank you once again, Daniel, Graham, everyone. Jared, thanks again for having us down here. It's really important for us to make connections with other providers and showing what we can do and hopefully integrating that with what you guys do. Because I think we're all on the same page where we want to build independence and make sure people have accessible buses, trams, all those sorts of things. So the world's open for everyone. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for having us here. Who here speaks one language? Everybody, hopefully. Who here speaks two languages? All right. 3? 4? Anybody 5? Wow. Can anybody beat that? Anybody speak 6 languages? Okay, so not sure what your name is, but you win. There's no prize, but you win the competition. So what do? We provide language services. So there on the screen you can see 2 of my colleagues who are in the audience, Carla, who also speaks 5 or 6 languages, right? And Mary. What does it mean, language services? So interpreting and translating. So we work with people from very diverse backgrounds. On producing resources, so documents, brochures, websites, for people that do not have English as their first language, and sometimes they might need to make decisions about their legal space, anything to do with health, anything to do with health promotion. We also provide some interpreting services. We're very pleased to be here today. Jared used to work for us, so when he said, can you come and be part of this event, we said, of course, yes. If any of you are interested in becoming an interpreter, come and talk to us. If any of you have language needs, meaning translations, interpreting, yeah, come and talk to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Graham. We also have the lovely Jennifer join me up on stage because we are completely unprepared for this. Thanks for throwing us in it. So we're here to discuss Matchworks today. So Matchworks is a division of Gen Youth Service. We provide lots of different services. We're pretty much a one-stop shop for people with disabilities. We have the training department, we've got the NDIS planning department, but with Matchworks ourselves, we actually work in disability employment services. So what we do is we address people's barriers to employment and then we help them secure the right job, but we don't just leave our service there, we actually continue on with service for at least 52 weeks of employment. They do have the option for ongoing support as well, so there's some people that we've been assisting for the last 10 to 15 years, and that's obviously because having a disability, you might have flare-ups every now and then.
So if that happens, we're there to step in and we can talk about workplace modifications, we can advocate for you with employers. The main part, but I suppose, is getting to know you when you first come in, having a look to see what barriers you do have and how we can best connect you to the right services to address those barriers. Once those barriers are addressed, then we look into securing you with employment, and we have reverse marketers on site that can assist with that. So if you can't step into a standard role, which a lot of people with disabilities cannot, what we can do is we can actually work on role creation. So we talk to employers about what skills you have, we focus on your abilities, not your disabilities, and we discuss what you can do. We ask them what sort of things and needs do their company have and what we can do to connect you to that company to make the right job fit. So sometimes that might be you doing that role by yourself, sometimes it might be sharing that role with other people. So role creation does include job sharing. So with job sharing, we might have somebody that can do the physical tasks but are unable to do the administration side of things. But we also have people that can do the administration side of things but not the physical side of things. So that's when we discuss role creation and job sharing. And that works really well with our participants, and it also allows them still time to sort out their medical issues and attend their appointments with their physio or their OT and everything else. So it's a one-stop shop. Once we get them into employment, the lovely Jennifer looks after them with her team. So that's the post-placement support and ongoing support team. So I'll let her have a little bit of a discussion about what they do. And also with our services, we do also have on-site health and wellbeing services. So we offer mental health and wellbeing support for our clients, and we also have an exercise physiologist which can go out on site, address what needs to be done in there to make them suit them. So here's the lovely Jennifer, and she'll talk about post-placement support and ongoing support.
Thanks, Amy. So basically, we're not just about getting you a job, we're about helping you to move towards independence, and that takes as long as it takes. So there's no time frame with us. You're with us for as long as you need us. So once you secure employment, I'm with you on that pathway, on that journey with you. So I'll help you build the relationship with your employer, I'll help you build the relationship with your colleagues. We can talk about social interaction at work, how to deal with conflict, all those sorts of things. Whenever it comes up, I'm with you 100% of the way. Okay? Not just about getting a job, we also look at more of a holistic approach to your life. So if there's anything that could interfere with your ability to maintain your employment, we want to get on top of that as quickly as possible, connect you with the right services, give you the right advice, help you become more comfortable with what you're doing. It goes through many steps, many processes. If everything goes really well and you feel like you're ready to exit, we can exit you at 52 weeks from the service. You can always come back if something goes wrong. We'll connect you with the right services to help you get back on track. Myself, I look after ongoing support. I've had people with me for many years, and we just keep going at whatever it is that's presenting itself as a problem, a new barrier, an old barrier raising its head again. We deal with it together. We connect you with the right services. We talk to your employer. We don't want things to end badly. So early intervention is best, and if we're already seeing you every week, we're already building that relationship, we can nip it in the bud real quick. Ultimately, our goal is independence of services. That will take as long as it takes. You could be with us for a few years, you could be with us for 10 years. We're here with you along the way.
And I think another good point to mention with Matchworks, it is a free service. It doesn't touch any of your NDIS funding. Yep. So that's a standalone thing that we do. All you need to do, if you need to check our eligibility, we do have a stand over there. You can come and talk to us about a direct registration. But yeah, it's free of charge for you guys to utilise. So definitely, yeah, if you're ever interested or you know somebody that's interested in securing employment or working towards getting ready to get a job, let us know. We're happy to help anytime.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
to Ahmed, and he can talk about this finding.
Thank you very much, Graham. So we were discussing about providers' perspectives. So our first question was different ways to enhance individual independence. The first one we have answered is by upskilling the participant, then providing more awareness, which can come engagement and involvement of the participant in the community. Providing choice of control by communicating with someone. This point was raised by a very young one of us. That's very important. And the last one, if it didn't work, then providing some therapies to overcome these challenges. We can generate a person-centered approach, which can be co-designed with the participant. Thank you for raising that point by that team. The second question was, what challenges could client face in achieving independence? So we discussed so far, it can come up with a lack of awareness, language barriers, cultural barriers, and that can also come with economic hit. Lack of skills, preconceptions, which is very important for us to understand that with this one, this is a big challenge for the participant, that someone can think that they cannot do that. So we have to eradicate this one. They can do everything. Social isolation, lack of confidence, that can make them apathetic. The third one, what are the risks involved for not providing individual independence? They cannot achieve the goals. They don't have choice of control, can have some mental health impact, which can cause a trauma, isolation, self-harm, and lack of confidence. They think that they can rely on others. This is also a major problem. How can they be reduced? By providing more awareness. How can we provide more awareness? By training them, by providing some proper platforms, this is one of them. We are providing, Harmony Home and Community Care is providing a platform for them to provide awareness as well and for providers. To make them more socialized, exposure to the community so that they can learn more. And the last, very important, giving them the control of choice. That's all.
Thank you, we appreciate that.
Hello everyone, my name is Janessa and I'm from National Positive Behaviour Support. So we came up with quite a few things. So number one, what supports infrastructures would enhance the CLD and disability groups. So one is just having more access to funding and understanding funding. So like just maybe having some more NDIS engagement officers in the community more, like at events like this today, so we can ask them questions. More community activities and community centres, but with that, better advertising for events that are happening so people don't miss out on them. For like supports to receive free entry to events. So if you're a support worker accompanying somebody with a disability, unless you have a companion card, you have to pay to access that event. So if the support workers got in for free, then they would take the participants out more and they'd have a better quality of life. Better wheelchair and disability access, as well as sensory times at major events and shopping centres, etc. And access to quiet rooms for people with cultural needs, as well as people who have children with ASD and that are having meltdowns and need a quiet space. Also cultural acceptance and inviting families to events when the actual participant is funded, but also invite the families as well, because family is very important. And a portal where GPs can have and find information on services available, because there's a lot of community groups that support different people with different needs, and if there's a central portal that you can find that information. And just really another good one is just volunteering with different community groups, so you can understand your participant, your passenger, your client, if you're working with them, if you don't have any lived experience. So systematic changes that we could be implemented, just more access to people from the government agencies and NDIS to converse with. more laws and procedures put in place to speed up processes. Education for primary school children, so they can understand people with disabilities and from different cultures, so there's just acceptance from when they're 5, from when they're young, even childcare. Better education for childcare teachers to identify children that might need some extra support. Easier access to specialists in GOTs and speeches. And maybe the government could also provide like free HECs to people who want to study those areas to increase the amount of specialists around. Free access to hearing and eye tests and speech tests from primary school age, so we can be identifying if there's any support required from when they're young. And more access to free ASD and cognitive assessments through the Education Department. And how can these changes affect society as a whole? Everybody will be able to just live as one, and everyone will just be accepting of everyone. In the workforce, you won't be identified as being, different to everyone else. You'll just be treated the same. And if someone understands you have a disability, then they can work with that. It will save the government long term in money, because they'll be identifying where support's required when somebody is younger. And it will also be upskilling our professionals, and that will be a positive outcome for the child as well, or the person, and work more effectively with, if you're doing some volunteering, understanding what's going on, you're going to be able to work more effectively with your passenger, your participant, your client, whatever you call them in your world, and you'll just understand the person better.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and I will, firstly I wanted to thank everybody that's contributed, lots of people with lived experience and very interesting perspectives. So we talked about diverse perspectives. The first question was, how can providers and government bodies better communicate with disability and CALD communities? So lots of very interesting ideas. We focus on things like being grassroots and encouraging people with more experience to mentor and be part of the communication process. It's easier to reach people through community leaders from different cultures. The use of social media and accessible resources was also emphasised in easy to understand visual formats. To translate things where appropriate. Groups have also talked about better customer service, so that includes phone interpreting or interpreting in general, where you don't have to wait for 3 weeks for the interpreter to arrive. They did ask for more money. I don't know how successful we're going to be with that, but and to build more capacity for better communication. The second question we had was, what role does communication play in this community? So it enables better opportunities, provides for better accessibility and empowers people. 3 points there. And the biggest issues that communities are facing through lack of communication is exclusion, isolation, and issues with dissemination. Also, inability for governments to build trust and engage service providers as well as their participants or clients. So thank you again. And that's it.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so we were looking from a training and employment perspective. First question, how can corporations be more accommodating to CALD and disability communities? The number one thing that just kept coming up over and over again, accessibility. That extends to accessibility in terms of access to translators, access to paperwork in your language, access on a website to your language, being able to interpret what's being said. Because a lot of us, we have to deal with these forms which are very legal based. The person that speaks English as a first language is going to have trouble understanding that. Imagine from another perspective, someone who has a learning disability, someone whose language isn't first language English. So we talked about accessibility first and foremost, education around different cultures, education around customs, hand gestures, body language,
What does this mean in Japan compared to what this means in Japan? One's offensive, the other isn't. Do you know the difference? Things like that. Knowing about sign language, yeah? Do you have access to someone who can do sign language for a deaf participant? Things like that. We talked about simplifying our documentation. Everything's very legal, everything's very complex. Can we simplify the language? And can we provide it in multiple languages? Using technology, using even AI. Can AI assist us to help translate these things? Respecting cultures, respecting body language, gestures, knowledge, and a really good one I really loved, geographical knowledge. In your local area, what are the top 10, top 20 cultures and languages, and is your business accommodated? Do you have access to what you need to support the people that walk through your door? Too much talking. What support infrastructure is present for career pathways and progression? What I saw from this one, we need more community awareness of the support systems that are out there. We talked about partnership and collaboration, so working with who can help your participant with a career pathway and progression. Do you know that there are disability employment services out there? You do now. Do research. Talk to your participant. What is it that they want for their life? And are you going out there into the community to find out where you can get that support from? All right, if you're an employer, for example, and you're running a business, you're supporting disabled participants. Are you a disability-friendly employer? Are you willing to take on someone that you would be supporting? Can you be? And who can help you with that? Awareness and acknowledgement. We all have differences, we all have disabilities. Let's not compete, let's work together.
Well, it was a huge day, and I hope you have enjoyed what we have done today and learned a lot of things from the expo today. It wasn't an easy road, but we worked really hard and made it possible. There were a few hiccups. We will get some of the feedback from a lot of people who are here, and we'll try to amend those in the next time. Events like this are so much important and needs to happen for people who want services, who need help from us. And this can only be possible if I have people like you to be a part of it every time I do these events in here. It wouldn't be possible without the help of a lot of staff members that you have seen wearing t-shirts of Harmony, Matchworks, and a lot of people that have reached out to me last minute and said, I'm here to help you out. These are my people. These are the people that we've looked up to in times of need. I would like to thank all the sponsors who've contributed and worked really hard and made this event a successful event. Without any of you, none of this would be possible. Lastly, before you go, just make sure that you go online and like us on our Facebook and Instagram page, because there's a lot of things coming up. And I'm not going to disclose it now. There's a lot of conversation that was happening down at the bottom, but I was like, let's just leave it to what you see online, and let's just do another event in the next few months. I'll be looking forward to everything and everyone that you were a part of, and it was a pleasure hosting you today. Thank you so much. Before everybody leaves, can I please request the Deputy Chairperson of the Multicultural Commissioner, Mr. 𝐷𝐸, to have some.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's my absolute pleasure to be here, and I feel very honored that I can give this closing remarks. Before I begin, I would also like to start off by acknowledging that we are on traditional lands. I pay my respect to the elders past and present. I know that earlier we had the mayor of Wyndham and many council workers and councillors who attended this expo. I was running late because I was part of a working group for the Victorian Electorate Commission, and as we all know that the local government election is coming up, we wanted to ensure that all our multicultural communities can participate and exercise their democratic rights. So my apologies for turning up late. Also want to acknowledge the incredible work that Daniel and his team have done to bringing us together here. This is so critical. Opportunities like this takes a lot of effort, and so I want to acknowledge all the team members, the volunteers, for putting it together and allowing us to bridge, reconnect, establish relationships so that we can work better together. I also want to acknowledge my good friend Eva. I don't know how she does it, but she's everywhere, and that's because of her care for our communities. And indeed, in Victoria, we are very lucky that we have so many community champions who care for our multicultural communities. I think in closing, I was given the opportunity to come and meet many of your stalls, and it was heartwarming to see that there are so many options out there for our communities. Option is power, but also the care you put in to helping our multicultural communities, those who need that extra support, that extra bit of care. The work you do is so critical and so important, and I thank you all for the work that you do and the work you will continue to do. Our multicultural communities deserve better. We all deserve better. And so I thank you and I commend the incredible work you do to empower those who need that extra bit of care. Today's event, also I was able to eardrop on the World Cafe, the discussion around words like co-designing, partnership, collaboration. These are so critical in a time of scarce resources. Working together is going to be the key so that we can reach more communities, but also have better and more positive impact to our communities. So it's incredible to see all of you working together, and I'm sure that you will all have many meaningful things to take away from those discussions, those rich discussions. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming together, and but I'm excited, I should say, that this is the beginning of something very special, where what I can visualize is that we're not going to be working in silos, but we're going to be working together. And that is so important for our communities. Multicultural Victoria is at its cross point, an exciting time where over 50% of Victorians are of multicultural background, or at least have one parent who is born overseas. It is an exciting time, but also a very important time for us to get things right, so that our beautiful state can continue to thrive and be a place of excellence, and also an example that multiculturalism is a great asset to any society. And so thank you all once again for coming here and being part of it. I'm truly delighted to come and meet so many of you, and I'm sure that we will continue to keep in touch. And thank you, Daniel, for reminding us sharing is caring. So all the photos that you have taken today, please share it on your social media, tag one another. Let's go on this journey together. Thank you.
Staff up on stage, all of those people that made this happen. You can't hide, I can see you all from up here. So you need to come up, just come up, and as they do, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much again. It simply would not have happened if you weren't willing to come here and put in all of this work. I appreciate it, Daniel appreciates it, and I'm sure everybody out there appreciates it as well. Sure, yeah. That concludes our expo, but wait, there's more. No, there's not. Just before you go, I'd just like to bring your attention a number of future events that Harmony Home and Community Care will be working on. These events are still in the planning stages, but it will be of a charitable nature and will be focusing on vulnerable and at-risk people in our community. So please keep an eye on our social media platforms for more information, and I'd just like to thank you all again for coming and making this such a perfect day. Thank you.